Hey there, this is David McElfresh with another Friday Fresh Take. This week I want to talk about investing and specifically the question of appreciation versus cash flow. I get this question all the time from new clients that come in, they're thinking about investing, even older investors that come in and they're thinking about, hey David, I really just want to focus on cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. How much am I going to make every single month? And this concept of appreciation is there, but it isn't necessarily the main primary focus. And so I want to take a few minutes today, talk about these, compare them, and let's do a little bit of an analysis, okay? So it's going to be a little bit more heady, a little bit more whiteboarding things today, but that should be pretty fun. So let's take a look, and I'm going to pull up our example of what we're going to look at and what we're going to compare for these two situations. So we've got two scenarios, two different properties we're going to compare. One is our cash flowing property, okay? So for these, a lot of times these are gonna be in different areas. They're probably gonna be out of state if you really want to cash flow as much as possible. And out of state, I mean out of Colorado, Denver metro area where a lot of my clients are living. So this is probably out in the Midwest, maybe somewhere in the South, those areas. You're probably gonna get a property that cash flows better. And in this situation, we're gonna buy it, and from year one, we're gonna rent it out, okay? Second example, the appreciation property. This is going to be an in-state property, and this is going to be your primary residence for just 1 year. So you're gonna live there for 12 months, and on day 366, you're moving out and you're turning it into a rental, okay? So those are our two different scenarios that we're gonna compare. Within these scenarios, we got a couple assumptions. So number one, you've got a down payment right here of about $25,000. So $25,000 is what we got to play with. And then the appreciation is going to be about 5% per year. Now, appreciation can really vary market to market. I actually would say that you would probably see more appreciation in these types of markets where the property is going to be more expensive. But just for the sake of kind of doing an apples to apples comparison, we're going to assume that the appreciation is going to be the same, okay? All right, let's jump in and do some real numbers and look at this cash flowing property and what the numbers really look like. So first of all, again, this is out of state. We're going and finding something that is in a different area that cash flows really, really well. And in those areas, the values are actually quite a bit lower. So this home has a $100,000 value, and the down payment that we're putting in is our $25,000. So the reasoning behind this is a lot of lenders are going to require a 25% down payment when you're coming in and buying a non-owner occupied home. So that's the requirement here. We come in 25% down on a $100,000 home, okay? Now here's the analysis. For this property, we're gonna assume we're cash flowing really, really well on this property, $300 per month. I personally work with a lot of different investors. I have properties out of state myself. If you can get $100 to $200 a month in the first year of cash flow, that's really, really good, right? If you're doing a proper analysis and you're really looking at things. So we're really, really being aggressive here and saying that we're getting $300 a month, which ends up being about $3,600 a year in what you're making from cash flow. Pretty sweet, right? The next piece in that wealth creation process is how much does this property appreciate? So if we take 5% of this $100,000, we're getting an additional $5,000 of wealth creation in this first year. If you couple that with this $3,600, our total return or total wealth creation for year one is $8,600. That's not too bad. That's an ROI of 34%, which is pretty freaking awesome. I would challenge anybody to try to find something in the stock market that is going to consistently year over year give you a 34% return on investment. That's pretty baller. So great example there. This is mostly focused on cash flow, and then you're also making some returns in your appreciation. So let's now look at the other options, okay? The other focus, which is the appreciation play. Again, this is your in-state primary residence for 12 months, and then at that point, you're moving out and you're turning it into a rental, okay? When you buy the home, it's valued at $450,000, and again, you're putting in the full $25,000 as your down payment. But this time, you only have to put in 5% because it's a primary investment loan. So In this situation, here's our analysis. We're going to assume that we're not cash flowing anything on this property, right? Especially when you put a little bit of a lower down payment in there, you're probably not going to cash flow. You're also in a little bit of a more expensive market. So cash flow isn't necessarily going to be that likely. So we're going to assume that you don't make any money on this from a cash flow standpoint. And at the end of year 1 or year 2, really, you got zero money in your pocket from cash flow. But let's look at the appreciation factor, okay? Again, taking 5% of this $450,000, this home is appreciating by $22,500 in 1 year, okay? That's a really, really, really awesome return on your $25,000. That in total return is almost 100%. We're right at 90% right now, which is absolutely bonkers, right? That is such a great return, and that is an illustration of the power of leverage. Really, really, really cool. So this is a perfect example of why cash flow doesn't look that great. In fact, I could even see in some situations where you might pay a little bit of money out of pocket to do some maintenance requests, some big ticket items, fix a roof, a furnace, but your total return is $22,000, $23,000 roughly at the end of 1 year. That is a really, really awesome return on this investment of $25,000. Not to mention, you've got a tenant in there. They're paying for your mortgage. They're paying down your mortgage. So at one point, your mortgage is going to be gone and your cash flow is going to be up. So let's take a quick look and compare the two of these and just do a really quick analysis and last comparison. So again, the cash flow option, we've got $3,600 coming in per year, plus the $5,000 of appreciation, about $8,600 of wealth creation. The appreciation plays zero cash flow, but we're really, really pushing into the appreciation of $22,000, $23,000 of wealth creation per year and really hitting that 90% ROI number. So is there a better way to go? Is one of these preferred over the other? It depends. I really, really do think it depends on who you are, what your focus is, and all that kind of stuff. Here's what I will say, is that when you're looking at these plays, I think that cash flow initially is probably a little bit safer, right? You've got a little bit of money coming in every month to cover some of those expenses. Let's say something happens where the furnace breaks. You've got some cash to pay and fix that furnace, replace that furnace, whatever you need. So it's a little bit more of a cautious defensive strategy to at least get your portfolio started, right? Where I've heard it phrased, the appreciation play is a little bit more offensive. It's a little bit more progressively minded where you're saying, nope, we've got enough reserves here. If something crazy comes up, we'll be able to take care of it. But we really, really want to push the ROI and we really want to see the appreciation long term. So obviously these numbers are all averages. These can shift market to market. But over the long term, this is how the numbers work out. This is one of the reasons why me personally, I'm looking to invest in long-term appreciating assets going forward. And love to chat with you guys about it more. So give me a holler, put some questions down in the notes, and we'll chat soon. Cheers.